DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. I talked about this a little bit in the last video, and I stepped on it a little bit, but I want to talk about it in an isolated video. The subject is, what if they say no? What if the other person says no? I know, let's say you're a professional speaker or a basketball trainer, and somebody comes to you and says, I heard that you're a good speaker, or I heard that you're a good trainer. I want to hire you to come speak at my event, or to train me, train my son, train my basketball team, whatever, put on a workshop, whatever. Somebody comes and asks you your price to hire you for your work. You say, sure, and now you got to give them a price. I had a person come to me with this exact challenge, and I told them what price to say. And the price that I told them to say was way higher than what they were used to saying. So they're like, well, I haven't charged this before. What if they say no? That was pretty much the gist of what they said. They said a bunch of stuff. They said, what if that person says no? And you can use this in any aspect of life. It doesn't have to be you selling anything. You make a proposal to another person. Let's say you want to work with somebody, you want to do a deal with another person, you want to get involved with someone in some way, shape, or form, and you make them an ambitious proposal. Ambitious for you, meaning if they say yes to this, this will be like great, the best possible outcome for you. If they say yes to paying you what you said, or they say yes to the terms that you're offering, or whatever it happens to be. All right, very ambitious on your part. And you are afraid of making such an ambitious offer because what you're thinking in the back of your mind, actually not the back of your mind, in the front of your mind, you're thinking, what if they say no? What if they don't accept my ambitious proposal? What if they are pissed off by the fact that I would ask for so much and they cut off negotiations with me? What if they say, yo, how are you asking for all this? And they demand that I prove that I'm good enough to ask for what I'm asking for, and I don't have proof to prove that I'm good enough to ask for what I'm asking for. What if they say no? Some form of no. What do I do in that situation? Here's what you need to understand. First I'll answer the question. The answer is, so the fuck what? So what if they say no? That's the answer. Now let me explain that answer. You must develop the posture. And when I say posture, I don't mean standing up straight. That's part of it, but I'm talking about mental posture. That your value is your value, and your position is your position. And if this is just for you to understand, from me to you, if you don't establish in your mind what you're worth and what you'll accept and what you will not accept, if you don't have that posture for yourself, then as the saying goes, I talked about in the last video, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. If you don't decide what's acceptable and what's unacceptable, and you don't draw that line between what's okay and what's not okay, then life is going to give you whatever it wants to give you, and you're just going to have to accept it because you haven't decided what's acceptable and what's not. Again, if you don't know where your line is at, then life and other people, they will draw the lines for you. And you might not like where those lines get drawn, but now you got to live with it because you accepted it. That's the way that it works in life. So you got to ask yourself, what is it that I want? You got to get clear on what you want. You got to get clear on why you want it, so that you have an emotional reason to stand on it, not just a logical reason, but an emotional reason to stand on it. And understand you can choose to decide whatever you want. You can come up with whatever reasons you want. All right, it doesn't have to make sense to anybody else. It's just got to make sense to you. You got to get clear on what that is. Then you have to get comfortable with communicating where you stand. In other words, if you're in sales and you want to charge $10,000 for your product, you have to be comfortable saying out of your mouth, this product, this course, this book, this service costs $10,000. And you got to be comfortable saying that, and then shutting the fuck up and let whoever you're talking to respond to what you said. Don't explain it. Don't give reason after reason. Don't back out. Don't negotiate against yourself and say, well, this costs $10,000, but I'll work with you if you don't have $10,000. You already just told them you're not really worth $10,000. As soon as you say that, as soon as you say anything else other than this is the price, here's how you get it, and shut up. If you keep talking, Now you're negotiating against yourself. You'll talk yourself out of a deal. Talk yourself out of what would have been a closed case because you didn't have the confidence to stand on it. So the question is, what if they say no? So what if they say no? If you're trying to sell something, let's just use that number. Nice round number. You're trying to sell something for $10,000. And the person you're selling to says, no, that's too much. Or they say, no, I can't afford it. Or they say, no, that's not in our budget. Or they say, no, or they don't even say no. They just say, well, thank you for the information. No, we'll get back to you if we're interested, which is oftentimes another form of no. They just don't want to tell you no. So what if they say that? What do you do? I'm going to tell you what to do. Because you already gave them the information, you already gave them the price. They already know what they got to do to get it, right? They got everything they need to know about you and from you, they know, okay? Mind you, they called you, so they did some research before they called you. You don't need to get them any more information. Here's what you need to do. You need to go find somebody else to tell your price to. See, the problem that a lot of people have in life, in business and in life, is that we waste a lot of our resources chasing opportunities that don't want to be caught. You're running around trying to convince somebody. Let's say somebody comes to you, asks you how much it costs to train me for a year, and you say 10 grand, and they say, all right, I'll get back to you if I want to go forward with that. You end up spending your resources, your time, most valuable resource you got, chasing that person down, trying to get them to buy for 10,000, or negotiating against yourself and saying, all right, well, if 10 is too high, I can do it for 8,000 or 5,000, or what can we work out? Let me tell me what your budget is so we can work it out. Never ask anybody what their budget is. I'm gonna make a video about that. That's gonna be the next video about that exact. That's a terrible question. I'm gonna tell you why in the next video. What you need to do is go find the people who are saying yes, because they exist. Trust me, they exist. Whatever amount. Every salesperson out here, if you're an entrepreneur, you're a salesperson. Everybody's a salesperson. If you're trying to get a boyfriend or girlfriend, you're trying to get a date on Tinder, you're a salesperson. Or you're selling yourself. You're selling your companionship. Every salesperson out here, understand something. There are people out there in the world right now who would gladly buy what you're selling at the exact price that you want. They are out there. They exist. The problem that you have is that those people don't know about you is one part of the problem. The other part of the problem is you, instead of utilizing your resources to go get in front of the people who just don't know about you and would buy from you if they knew about you, you're wasting your resources trying to chase after people who either don't want to or are incapable of saying yes. Why are you wasting your time talking to people who can't afford your product? Or maybe they can afford it, but they just don't want to spend the money. They're cheap. Or they can afford it, they do want to spend the money, they just don't want to buy it from you. Maybe they just want somebody else. Maybe they just think somebody else's product is better than yours. All right, either way, it doesn't matter. If they're not buying, go find the people who are buying. Sell to your buyers. I said this like 4 years ago. I still say it every single day. I'm going to still keep saying it as we go into the future. Sell to the buyers. You know what that means? That means instead of trying to convince people who are unsure, somebody's not sure, somebody's thinking about it, somebody's like hemming and hawing. All right, that's basically a no for right now. Go find the people who are saying hell yes. And again, they exist. Problem is you're not talking to them. Why you're not talking to them? Because you are chasing after things that don't want to be caught, at least not by you. All right, don't chase after the girl who is ignoring you. Go chase after the girl who wants you to come talk to her, because she exists as well. Now I know there are exceptions to every rule. There's stories of men who saw a girl, liked her, and just worked on her, and eventually she became the wife, and now the girl's in love with him. I know. But you understand the general premise of what I'm saying here, right? Don't chase after opportunities that don't want to be caught by you. All right, and there are a lot of them out there that we waste our resources on. If you would just open your mind and open your eyes to the possibility that there are other entities out there that would gladly say yes, that's where your time should be spent. It was Mace. Some of you remember the rapper Mace. He said, what that girl ain't willing to do, you got 1,000 more girls that are more than willing. Now, he didn't give context to that, but it illustrates my point perfectly. Just because the person you're talking to right now is not saying yes, doesn't mean nobody will say yes. It just means you're not talking to them yet. You haven't met them yet. And once you open your mind to the possibility and then the reality that there are plenty of people out there who will say yes to you, you'll stop wasting your time with the people who's saying anything other than yes. Think about it, I'm not sure, whatever form of anything other than yes. All right, stop wasting your time with those people. They'll come around or they won't. But you ain't got time to wait for them. All right, you're on the clock. Okay? Work on your game. Dre all day.